School districts across California are getting ready for a sit-out as parents protest vaccine requirements. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Holmes. Steve Price has the night off. Although nearly 90% of people living in San Diego County have at least one dose of the vaccine, and national polls say most Americans favor vaccine mandates, a few groups say that they are fighting back. News 8's Dana Marie McNichols takes a look at the issue.
In response to this walkout, the San Diego County of Education says keeping kids home to protest these state policies only impacts their education and academic success. And for the parents, they say it comes down to their freedom of choice whether to vaccinate or not. It's a movement that extends up and down California.
There are flyers all over the state.
School Walkout 2021 says they are parents, teachers, education staff, and students staying home from school tomorrow to protest the current vaccine mandate.
And there's no one specific group that is organizing this.
Sharon McKeon and her kids will be participating in tomorrow's sit-out. She is the founder of Let Them Breathe, a group of parents concerned about the effects of masks and vaccines for children.
And one thing that is happening here locally is there are parents that are going to be going to a field trip at Balboa Park, because obviously if they're calling their kids out from school for the day, they want it to be a positive educational thing.
McKeeman says the event is for parents to connect about alternative schooling options like micro schools or homeschooling.
I will be sharing there as well, just as far as what kids' rights are, as far as an in-person education and the legal action that's being taken there.
2 weeks after San Diego Unified School District announced a COVID-19 vaccine mandate, Let Them Breathe filed a lawsuit against the district. Many school districts have sent out a response in opposition to the planned sit-out. Grossmont Union High School District says we never want students to fall behind. It's important for them to be in class during the school day. San Marcos Unified School District says people may disagree about the methods schools are required to follow, but I hope we can all agree that keeping our schools safe and open is what's best for our students.
I have heard from a lot of families that they don't have any intention of homeschooling or pulling their kids from school, but they're taking part in the day tomorrow because they don't want to be rushed into a decision over this vaccine that is very new.
San Diego Unified now requires all age-eligible students and staff to get the COVID-19 vaccine by November 29th, their second dose by December 20th. If that doesn't happen, students will be asked to leave on-site education, and they'll be offered alternative education programs.
Thank you for that story, Dana Marie. Okay, so this past week, an FDA advisory panel voted to recommend both the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson booster shots, which would give millions of vulnerable Americans added protection against COVID-19.
3 groups, 18 to 65 with the immunodeficiency, and also 65 and above, and also people who work in the business with direct contact with the sick people like doctors, nurses.
FDA approval for the boosters could happen as soon as this week. We will keep you posted. And it's been nearly a week since the deadly plane crash in Santee that claimed the lives of the pilot and a UPS driver. The memorial for Dr. Sugata Das and Steve Kruger continues to grow near the accident site at Jeremy and Greencastle Streets. And we are now learning of a celebration of life for Kruger, the dedicated delivery man. On Sunday, November 7th, the community is invited to gather at Santee's Town Center Community Park West from noon until 3 to remember Kruger. We also received an update on Phil and Maria Morris, who were rescued from their home by neighbors. Their son says they are still recovering in the hospital from 2nd and 3rd degree burns and that they still have several more surgeries ahead. This afternoon, fire crews are keeping an eye on that massive auto scrapyard fire that broke out Saturday in Otay Mesa. Fire officials say one engine is still on the scene just south of State Route 905, watching for possible flare-ups as the fire keeps smoldering. No injuries have been reported, and the cause of that fire remains under investigation. You know, it's been a hot, dry weekend, but there's a change in store for the week ahead. Meteorologist Sean Stiles joins us now with a first look at that microclimate forecast. Happy Sunday, Sean.
And happy Sunday to you, Kirsten. Yeah, it was an interesting weekend here. We had some very, very warm temperatures. Today, a little bit cooler. In fact, right where we should be. 75 was our high. Our overnight low a little bit cooler because of that dry atmosphere. But we did see a cooling trend, and as you look at the temperatures currently, we're in the upper 60s pretty much everywhere from the coast to the inland microclimates, places like Escondido and El Cajon at 71. It's a little bit cooler in the mountains, 59 both at Palomar Mountain and Julian, and for the folks out in Borrego at 80. 1 degree. So this deep marine layer will bring a chance of some drizzle and or light rain. We've got temperatures and gusty winds. Temperatures are going to be below average, and the gusty winds will affect mainly the mountains. And then weak ridge builds in by, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we start to see temperatures get a little more mild. There's a look at what we're expecting, a much cooler day tomorrow, and then we see a slight warming trend, but we'll stay below average. The heavy drizzle and or light rain will be in the eastern parts of the inland microclimates, the foothills, and into the west-facing slopes of the mountains. Don't expect a lot out of this, but it could make the roadways wet in the morning. I'll talk about that in just a bit.
All right, thank you for that, Sean. Okay, so the 24th annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk kicked off at Balboa Park early this morning, and Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez was there sharing her journey of battling breast cancer. Here's News 8's Ariana Cohen.
Thousands of people are walking today, including survivors like Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez. She and many others received the news from a doctor they never wanted to hear. They say this walk is more than just a walk. It symbolizes hope and recovery. Give them something else. It was a sea of pink at Balboa Park Sunday morning. Participants decked out in pink tutus, pink headbands, and even dogs dressed in pink for the Making Strides San Diego Breast Cancer Awareness Walk. Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez was recently diagnosed with breast cancer.
In July, went in for just a regular mammogram and was informed that I had cancer growing in my right breast in 2 different locations, even though I couldn't feel it.
She had a double mastectomy and is still in the recovery process.
Well, it was scary, you know. I think for any person who hears you have cancer, it's scary. For me in particular, my mother had breast cancer and died of it, but you hope it never happens to you.
She is not alone.
Well, I think my short hair gives it away. I'm currently in the fight of breast cancer. It was life-changing, for sure, because that phone call changed everything, right? Your life comes to a stop, to a halt for a second, because automatically you think, you know, what's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to see my kids grow up? Am I going to see my daughter getting married?
Thousands of participants are making strides by also raising money for breast cancer research. Survivors hope to inspire others to get regular mammogram screenings and live each day to the fullest.
Gosh, I'm gonna cry. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything, you know. It's like I'm so proud that I'm again here, able to stand here with you, able to do this walk. To all the fighters out there, to all the warriors out there, to all the caregivers out there, we can get through this together. We did it! We did it!
Organizers say they've raised $470,000 so far. This goes towards the American Cancer Society and cancer research. For more ways to donate, just head to our website.